Hello, my beautiful friends. We are back and we have survived eclipse season. And it is now Virgo season. Shout out to the Mechanism, who is one of my favorite astrologers. She writes for a lot of outlets like Bustle, and she has all her own services. She made this t-shirt. Anyways, I just wanted to touch base with you guys really quick and remind you that aside from these lovely free readings that I offer here, I have a ton of different stuff on my website that can continue to support you. If a personal reading isn't quite right for you, though, obviously I have those. I just streamline those services, make them a little bit more simple. You can find all that in the description box. I also have, of course, Siren Gang, which is kind of like being a part of a Patreon. You support me every month, and in return, I give you mid-month readings that include spiritual path, career, and love. And the way that I do the love readings, which are also available for individual purchase, is middle of the month of whatever current month it is, like let's say August, to the middle of September. So the only way that I offer love readings is either if you join Siren Gang for $10 a month, where you get all 12 signs, plus some energy updates written in a Vogue, plus $5 off anytime you book a service with me. Or you can buy middle of the month readings, again, cover love for a full month, and the 15th to the 31st or whatever on career and spiritual stuff on that month. And those are sold individually on my website for $777. And if you're called to donate to my channel, the link is below. I really appreciate that. This is my main gig, you know what I mean? I am in service for a living, and I love what I do, and any support that you feel you want to show monetarily, I would be open to that. It is my birthday on the 27th, so I'm turning 28. Show your girl a little love. Also, like I said, everything is updated in my shop. I did upload some crystals. All the sets except for one are sold out, and I think I have 2 individual stones still for sale. If you guys want to see more stuff like that from me, where I handpick stones and I charge them, you know, at a big lunar event, and I sell them to you, you know, comment below or send me an email. I also have the Siren, well, it used to be called Siren Support. Now it's just called Email Support. That's available in my shop. That's when you get access to me all month via email to talk about whatever spiritual issues you're going through. It's a little bit different than a reading, but it's more hands-on and supportive and direct to your issue. That's only $26. That's way cheaper than a reading. Also, I have custom ritual kits that can either be given to you singularly or in conjunction with a reading. That's in the shop as well. All the info that you need is in the description box below. And as always, I love y'all. You give me so much life. I love reading your comments. And I appreciate anyone that likes, shares, and subscribes to my videos. It really, really helps me out, okay? And now we're into your reading. Mwah. All right, Leo. So I'm feeling this month you're realizing that, quote, doing the right thing or being the most mature person in a scenario isn't always easy, okay, with the 10 of Wands here. It's not always easy to be the bigger person. It's not always easy to not just go with our first, more egoic gut instinct and really showing growth, right? Okay. It's not always easy to show growth, especially when, you know, we're getting ideas and messages and signs that, you know, the slow and steady path a lot of times creates more long-term stability. And we may not be entirely sure which road we will get led down if we allow our emotions to lead the way, right? Page of Cups with the 7 of Cups is saying that when we take a new chance on love, when we take a new chance on opening ourselves up to a softer, less serious, more naive, but with the best intentions type of energy, there's not a lot that we know for sure, okay? And you may not even know what you want from love or as an energy. Like, you're like, you know, I don't even know where I'm at with that. You know, it's been a long time since I've met somebody that really even incited any type of emotional reaction from me. It's been kind of surfacey maybe, but I feel like something's going to happen very quickly that's going to make you realize, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen,
And I maybe wasn't like, quote, ready, though we never really are. But I know that, you know, some things take time, like things worth having take time. And it's, you know, certain things are also worth the labor, you know, worth putting in the effort to be both emotionally aware and logically aware of our path. Like we have to take both into consideration. So if you're considering just having the energy of love in your life again a priority, don't get caught up on how that's going to present itself down the road or what that means for you. Don't jump to conclusions about how that's going to alter your overall plan. Just allow it to unfold naturally and invite yourself into the heart of the divine. All right, Leo. I am feeling that this reading this month is about interpersonal relationships just as much as it's about business and how both of those choices affect your overall life plan, right? Because, you know, you're more of a type of sign, you know, being a fixed sign that, you know, every decision you make ultimately is about how it affects you in your personal life, where other signs sometimes are more, you know, concerned about how their choices affect other people. And I feel a big portion of what's happening here is not allowing, you know, business to be mixed with pleasure in some capacity, but also trying to figure out how to have both. Like, so it's not about commingling them, but it's about finding balance to have both, because that's the way you're going to have enjoyment. I feel like if you actually blend business and pleasure, you might necessarily not love the outcome. And there's also something here about taking chances and not always trying to make rational decisions based on how you feel. Like meaning like there's a time and place to be rational and there's a time and place to really feel into your feelings and not discount your emotions out of like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know why I feel that way. It doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to disregard it. You know what I mean? But also when it comes to business decisions, obviously you can't allow your emotions to dictate the choices that you make. Your overall energy for this month is the 9 of Wands. So it's important to let bygones be bygones, you know what I mean? And let the past be the past and not really be hesitant to accept things out of fear that the past is going to repeat itself. Because the 9 of Wands always talks about someone who's a little bruised from what they've been through, right? But it could be years ago. Like it doesn't have to be recent. You also may feel like life has just kind of been beating the shit out of you for the last 9 months. You know, this whole year, you may not feel like you're gonna get a break till 2019. But change is coming, but like based on what Spirit is saying here as the advice, you're going to have a radical shift in what being a successful person is in order to really find pleasure and find happiness in your lifestyle. Okay? Because it's important to remember that every lifestyle choice or every choice we make about, you know, what our goals are, what we want for ourselves or whatever, everything comes with a price, right? And if we don't like the price that we're paying anymore, then we can alter, you know, what we're doing. We can alter, you know, the way we go about things. We can moderate things, all right? So what you're being asked to release is justice. With the Queen of Cups, and on the Queen of Cups, we have constraint. I feel like you've been constricting your connection to your intuition into things that make no, quote, rational sense. This could be you've been constraining yourself from connecting with the Queen of Cups, right? A highly intuitive woman or a water sign woman because you just don't think it's what's, quote, best for you or it doesn't make sense for you to connect with her. You know, whether, you know, doesn't really matter if you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter how you were connecting with her. It could be a business connection, whatever. But ultimately the Queen of Cups is a very, very, very fluid energy, a very feminine energy that really has no rational basis. So if you're always trying to justify your emotions, that is actually constraining your ability and restricting your ability to feel them. So it's important to remember that though you may require balance in your life or want everything to be just so and everything, to be almost like emotionally compartmentalized, that's not natural. So I feel like you have to allow natural order as well. And that's going to require you to, quote, give up some ground. I feel like you need to give up some ground in terms of how much control and rulership you have over your life. And that's not to say that you are going to like suddenly lose control. And you may feel out of control in other places. And that's why you're like, you know what? I don't have time for how I feel. I don't have time for this, like other things, whatever. But we can't control how we feel. I mean, you to an extent we can, and that's a whole other argument. But in reality, you really can't. You feel how you feel. And your intuition is trying to speak to you. And it's not about making a rational sense of it. It's about allowing it to just be, because that's how you feel and that's where you're at. So remember that when it comes to also like legal matters or contracts, if you're trying to get a new contract at work, if you're trying to rectify something that, requires going over paperwork with a fine-tooth comb or something, or getting justification for something, don't allow your emotions to run amok with that. Because again, I feel like mixing business and pleasure in whatever capacity is just not a good idea right now, okay? The door that's now open that was once closed, we have the Two of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles. On the Eight of Pentacles, we have protection, right? I think it was there. Might have been on the Two of Cups. Anyways, when it comes to, work, when it comes to your finances, I feel like you've been protecting yourself from getting into a relationship through your job and through your fixation on money. To an extent, this can even be friendships. Like, I don't think that you've been taking a lot of time for yourself, for having heart-to-heart connection, for having honest connection, for having connection that's just more than the surface, allowing someone to really see you. I think it's been a long time because I think that you've been using work as an excuse for why you can't have that. But, we're in control of our time. And if it's something that you really want, it's something that is really lacking and you miss it, then you need to create the space for it. Because Spirit is also saying that your work, right, and your focus and your diligence is also protected, and relationships aren't going to take away from that. So if your fear is that you don't have time for a social life, or you don't have time to really connect with people, never mind an emotional connection, because you have too much work to do, you have too many goals, life is just about yourself right now, all that kind of stuff. Be mindful that, no one can take from you what is not up for sale. So the chances of somebody taking your focus, Leo, is so slim, and you know that. So don't make excuses. You know what I'm saying? Now, others of you, I feel like it's important that you protect your business relationships and really keep an eye on those assets that you have with people. Like if there's connections that you have in whatever realm you do business in, right? Mentors or just like important relationships for your overall self-development and success as an individual. Make sure you hold those close to your chest. If there's people in your life that make you better, right? That push you to work on yourself, that push you to focus, that push you to be the best you that you can be in whatever way possible, protect them. Meaning, keep those relationships sacred. Make sure those people know how important they are to you, even if you can't give them all the attention that they need because you are so focused on this improvement, okay? Your current energy as it relates to all of this, in your head, we have the Two of Pentacles with the rune Luck. In your heart, the Seven of Wands with the rune Joy. And in your foundation, we have the King of Swords. So some of you may be making an announcement, okay, or a decision that joy has to become more of a priority in your life, and that the only way it's going to get done is if you moderate the way that you handle all your responsibilities. Okay, especially if you work 2 jobs or have multiple avenues of income. If there's multiple things that you have to be responsible for or give your attention to in order to keep funds flowing, okay, in whatever way that resonates. The King of Swords in your foundation is saying that, you know, to an extent, you need to be cut and dry. I think mostly with yourself about the current state of your life and how you want it to be different. Because joy with the 7 of Wands is saying that everyone has their own idea of joy and what makes them happy, right? And this is in your heart space. So there also may be a lot of people that want your attention, right? And are like, oh, pick me, like, because this can be dating options, like Two of Pentacles is like, do I want to date? Do I not want to date? I have all these different people that I could go out with. I'm not really sure who I want this. And it's like, to an extent though, also, you may be pushing away things that potentially could make you happy because you're just kind of in a very, I don't want to say cold mode, but you're just in a very logical, more business as usual type of mode where you're just not really feeling, you know, you're just not really connected to what your emotional body is craving. The Two of Pentacles with luck is saying that, you know, I feel that like luck is on your side when it comes to being able to find balance between your physical life, your financial life, and your emotional life, your spiritual life. But it does require some focus. So I feel like it requires mental rearrangement in order to create space. Because, you know, time is really our tool to manipulate. So if the issue is I don't have the time, that's a conversation that you need to have with yourself about how to rearrange that. And because anything is possible, right? But the page of the 7 of Wands with the rune joy here, I really feel in the heart space is saying that no one can take from you what makes you happy, right? And I also feel like don't fight off your feelings because you don't think you have enough time or because it's just you're too busy being a CEO, you're too busy being, you know, a manager, you're too busy like being this. I feel like this is a man that has a title, okay? And you don't use your title as an excuse for your joy being limited. Like, oh, I have too many responsibilities to be happy. Or I have too many responsibilities to, you know, find joy through loving connection. You know, that's kind of like, that's a little bit of a cop-out. And these add to 9. So this is coming to a new end. We have 9 here as the overall. So by the end of September, I feel like you're going to see that really isn't the case. And that you have to fight to an extent for your happiness against maybe your own drive. Okay. Spirit's advice for you is the Hanged Man with the Tower and the 4 of Swords. On the Tower, we have success. So the 4 of Swords is a lower octave of the Hanged Man. So this is like the exact same message. Okay. It's just extremely echoed. It's just saying, change your perspective. Change your perspective. Do not jump to conclusions. I feel like if you have jumped to any conclusions, you will be quickly proven that they are false. Especially, again, if you've suppressed your emotional needs in any capacity or you're trying to ward off having to get into something with somebody or care too much. Like, there may be a fear here of caring too much or your business taking a hit or work taking a hit or your goals taking a hit if you start to involve yourself emotionally in anything besides your goals and your passion projects. The Tower with success too is like you really need to alter what it means to be successful for you. I don't know what your age is or what stage of your life you're in, but there's some level of standard that you're holding yourself to that it's not that it's unrealistic. It's just not the be all end all, right? We determine what is successful based on our own personal goals. So you may want to reevaluate those as well. Because if it's taking you a long time to gain success or traction in a certain field or a certain area or a certain endeavor that you've been on too, you may want to go back to the drawing board and say like, okay, do I really, really want this? And why do I want this? Do I just want to put that plaque up on the wall? Do I just want the gratification of saying I did it? Like, you know, what is my motivator? Okay, because the Tower is a false belief that crumbles when we sit here and meditate on it, when we sit here and reflect on it. And it causes us to really pause and reframe what our motivation is for why we do what we do, why we live the way we live, And this can also be like someone you know, right, comes in and like deems you like insanely successful, and you're like, I didn't even meet my quarterly goals or whatever. And it's like a reminder that everything is perspective. So maybe not to take yourself so seriously either. I feel like you might need to lighten up a little bit as well this month, Leo. Okay. And moving into October, we have the Three of Cups with the Lovers and the Ace of Swords. On this pair, we have the rune Trust, which this rune has come up in the final outcome position for a couple signs. The Three of Cups with the Lovers, really importantly, I feel like is saying that you need to make choices about what's worth celebrating. I feel like you're also altering your social life, because there's something here too about trusting the choices that you make, because there's something that I know that you can feel it. It's like this next move that I make, this next choice that I make is going to alter my path, and you have to be able to trust that. This could also be about trusting your feelings and trusting your gut when it comes to a friend becoming a lover. That's definitely not for everybody, but that's for somebody. Because camaraderie is really important, right? Having people on your team that are just willing to celebrate you and celebrate victory, and it's like someone that's always got your back, always thinking of you or whatever. That's an important asset to have in somebody, right? Loyalty is super important to you. So you have to trust that if you decide to go deeper down a path with somebody, or, deepen your commitment to your higher self and living differently, right? Living through this new epiphany of what success is, and trusting that, you're not giving up on yourself. You're just allowing yourself a little bit more leniency and not to let past experiences alter how you feel, because you deserve to express yourself endlessly and live a very full, exciting life that probably does require or include, emotional moments that include more than you and your own victory. And that's not going to eliminate your own personal success. Okay? Just remember, you're not giving up your freedom. You're not giving up your focus. You're just altering it and altering your priorities. I feel like that's what you're really doing. You're altering your priorities to let in more levity and to let in more fun and just, joy, overall joy. Okay? I see the world through eyes of love and acceptance. All is well in my world. I am loved and accepted exactly as I am right here, right now. So yeah, if you're trying to achieve some Adonis level of success or whatever before you celebrate, before you allow people in, before you prioritize this, that, and the third, that's not how life works. You need to be fluid, all right? You will very much reap the benefits of fluidity this month. Okay, Leo? Love you. Peace.